Hello students, how are you all? Welcome again our video lesson. So this is our first video lesson in this year. Okay. So once again happy new year to all of you. So today we will start a new chapter, that is water. We have already started this chapter in our online classes also. So water is a very common chapter to you. We have learned so many things about water in class 6, in class 7. Now it's time to learn some more things about water, some new things about water in this chapter. Okay? So the things that we have already learned, so we have to give some revision here. Water is one of the most important resource on this earth, all of you know, because water is needed for our sustenance of life on this earth. If there is no water, life cannot exist on this earth. So many uses of it is there. It's help in changing the weather. It is responsible for changing weather. It is used for photosynthesis. It is used for digestion processes. It is used for agricultural purposes. It is used for generation of electricity. It is used for navigation. So lots of uses are there of water, that for which we are depend on water. So water is also a place where so many living things live also, suppose aquatic plants and animals. Each and everything contains water. Our human body contains about 70% of water. Our blood contains about 90% of water. Elephant has bodies 80% is water. Cow milk is also having water in it, that is about 87%. Watermelon, strawberries and grapes have a 91 to 92% of water. Cucumber and tomatoes have 96 to 94% of water. So very important. Sources of water. Sources of water, you know. The main source of water is the rainwater, is the purest form of water. The rainwater goes to the different water bodies like ponds, lakes, rivers. When these rivers go and fall into forms seas and oceans also, but rain is the primary source of water, ultimate source of water, and it's the purest form of water. It is a distilled water, but it cannot be consumed. First shower of rain is not good, because in air there are lots of dust particles and harmful gases which comes down with the rainwater. Okay, so first shower of rain is not good. This fresh water is found in river, lakes, ponds, then underground water also. But sea water and ocean water is not fresh water, because they contains lots of salt in them, so they are called saline water. Our Earth's total 70% of Earth crust is covered with water. Okay, but still we have scarcity of water, fresh water, because out of this total water present on this earth, only 0.3% water is fresh water or potable water that we can consume for our daily uses. And to removal of seawater, salt from seawater is called desalination of water. This water that is not salt is called fresh water, that we found in mainly found in lakes, ponds and rivers. In earth, water is also found in the form of glaciers and polar ice caps. In mountains, fresh water is also found in these glaciers. Rainwater, when absorbed by the soil, means soil, rainwater percolates into the soil and goes into the deep inside the underground. Water is formed, that is called over the bedrocks. They form water tables we have already read in over the porous rocks. So this is called groundwater, and this water we are using, it again goes back to the atmosphere, and the whole process of evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and again this form is called water cycle. So as we have learned in the change of state of water from ice to water, then water to water vapor, then when water vapor cools down they give again water, and when again water freezes to form solids. So whole this cycle is also goes on in our nature also, that is called water cycle in nature, and this is the thing by which we are getting rainfall also. Okay, so the rain, the waters from the seas and other oceans and other water bodies evaporates with the heat of the sun. This water vapor goes high up in the sky with the dust particles. They forms cloud. These clouds are having, when become heavy, they condenses to form droplets of water and falls as a precipitation, that is called rainfall. But when this rainwater comes in the some layer of the atmosphere where it is very cool, they changes into snow, and that is called snowfall. Okay, and again this water comes down into the rivers, in the oceans, again the process cycle is goes on. So it is called water cycle in nature. So these things we have already learned in your previous classes. Next is the properties of water. The physical properties of water. This is also you have learned. It is odorless, colorless, tasteless. But when some minerals and salts are added to the soil, it gives taste to the water. But the fresh water, the distilled water, the purest form of water, its boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius and the freezing point is 0 degree Celsius. But the impure water, the melting point and freezing point, or you can say boiling point, varies as they contain impurities. On that it depends. Also, water is the temperature of the boiling point and freezing point also affected by the pressure. So if the pressure decreases, the boiling point of water also decreases. So as we go in the high mountains or hilly areas, food is not cooked quickly. So what they use? They generally use pressure cooker to cook food. What happens inside the pressure cooker? Inside the pressure cooker, the pressure is increased. Okay. So when the pressure is increased, the boiling point of water also increases. It helps to cook the food very quickly. So if pressure increases, boiling point will also increases. So atmospheric pressure on the hills is lower as compared to the plains, and therefore boiling point of water is lower than 100 degrees Celsius in the hills. As a result, food takes longer time to cook on the hills. So it is advisable to use pressure cooker. Okay. But the addition to the impurities that are present in alter the boiling point and freezing point. So if we're adding the salt to the water, rises its boiling point. This phenomenon is also useful for cooking. So addition of salt also helps in cooking because its boiling point increases. Adding alcohol to water lower the freezing point. It helps to prevent water in car radiators and to freeze and chilly weathers. Addition of salt to ice also helps to lower the melting point. So mixture of salt and ice is therefore called alter the freezing point. It decreases the freezing point. Next is the water has a high specific heat capacity or the latent heat. Due to this specific heat of the water amounts is required to temperature by unit mass 1 degree Celsius. It is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of a substance through 1 degree Celsius is called specific heat, and latent heat of a substance is the amount of heat required by it to change its state. Okay, so difference that you have learned in physics about this specific heat and latent heat of vaporization also, and latent heat of freezing also. So due to the high specific heat capacity of water requires to have a large amount of heat, it becomes hot. Conversely, it loses its heat for large amount. It takes longer time. So this phenomenon of holding the heat is helpful in the nature also to form land breeze and sea breeze that you have studied in your physics and geography also. Okay, so this is water is used as a coolant. Water is also used in coolant such as factories, car engines, nuclear reactors. It has a large amount of heat and keeps the machine cool. Water shows the anomalous behavior also that we have already studied in class 6. This anomalous behavior of water means the temperature of the water is densest at is 4 degree Celsius. But when it comes lower the temperature, its density decreases. So when water freezes, the top layer of water only freezes and ice floats over the water bodies. This helps but below that water is still in the liquid form, so it helps aquatic plants and animals to survive. So all these things you have learned in your previous classes. Now the main thing that we have to study in your class 8, that is the chemical properties of water and other some properties also. So we will see here now the chemical properties of water. So today's main topic is chemical properties of water. Chemical properties of water. Just now I said that water is pure water has a neutral liquid. It is neutral. It does not show any change in the litmus paper. But on heating over 2000 degrees Celsius on passing electricity, it decomposes to hydrogen and oxygen, that we have already studied in the previous chapter, that is hydrogen, from how water is decomposed to get hydrogen and water by the process called electrolysis. We have studied it. Now here first reaction of water with non-metals. Reaction of water with non-metals. Reaction of water with non-metals. So first reaction of water with non-metals is with carbon. So what happens when carbon reacts with water, H2O? What it gives? It gives a mixture of carbon monoxide plus hydrogen with the release of heat also. Okay. It is heated at about 1270 Kelvin. Okay. So it is suspended when heat water in the form of steam. It passed through red hot coke. We call it as a red hot coke. So when this steam is passed through red hot coke, you will get a mixture of carbon monoxide and water that you also have learned in the industrial process of preparation of hydrogen gas. Is a mixture of carbon monoxide and water. Okay, so this is called, we call it as a water gas. Water gas. Next reaction is with chlorine. So carbon with chlorine. water with chlorine, I'm getting some mistakes, sorry, is carbon, chlorine with water. So when chlorine react with water, it decomposes, it displaces hydrogen or oxygen to form hydrochloric acid, HCl, you will get, plus HClO, that is called hydrochlorous acid. So when chlorine reacts with water, it gives hydrochloric acid, and hydrochlorous acid. Okay, so when again this hydrochlorous acid decomposes, so again after that this hydrochloric acid, HClO, when decomposes, it gives you the HCl, hydrochloric acid, plus oxygen. Okay, so 2, we have to balance here also. So the overall reaction that we get after combining these two reactions, we say that when chlorine reacts with water, it gives you a HCl with the release of oxygen gas. So chlorine is added to water to kill the germs also. That process is called chlorination. Okay, it is with reaction with non-metals. Okay, now the reaction with non-metallic oxide. Next is the reaction with non-metallic oxide. Reaction with non-metallic oxides. What are non-metallic oxides? Any non-metallic oxide like carbon dioxide. First is the carbon dioxide. So when carbon dioxide reacts with water, all of you know, at a high pressure, it gives you a fizziness, that is soda water or carbonic acid, H2CO3. It is called carbonic acid, which is used in large scale in making cold drinks or soft drinks. Okay, now next is the reaction with sulfur dioxide. So when SO2 reacts with water, the sulfur dioxide, as you see in sulfur dioxide gases that release to the atmosphere, they react with the water vapor present in the air to form sulfurous acid. We get H2SO4. Sorry, sulfurous, no, it's SO3. SO2 plus H2O, it gives sulfurous acid. So when again this sulfurous acid, H2SO3, decomposes to give oxygen present in the air, it gives H2SO4, that is sulfuric acid. So this sulfuric acid present in the atmosphere is the main cause of acid rain, or it is a air, we can consider it as a air pollutant. So very important thing here. Okay, now the reaction with metal. Next is the reaction with metals. So water also react with metal in a large scale, but the different metals reacts with water in a different way. Some metals is which are very reactive metals, they generally react with cold water, normal water. Some metals react with hot water. Some metals reacts when steam is passed through them. So we will see here how water reacts with metals. First of all, water is with cold water. Suppose all of you know that sodium and potassium are the most reactive metal. So when sodium reacts with number one, when potassium reacts with water, 2H2O, it gives potassium hydroxide with the release of hydrogen gas. So you need to balance here. So 2, here 2, here 2 you have to put. So when potassium reacts with water, it gives potassium hydroxide with the release of hydrogen gas. So very reactive. It's a very quick reaction. Similarly, if you see sodium also reacts with water to give sodium hydroxide with the release of hydrogen gas. Now you balance them. So sodium 2, hydrogen 2, oxygen is also here 1. So what we get here? So hydrogen 2 plus 1, 3, so 2. So we have to make it 3, means 2 here. 2, 2, 4, means again here 2. Sodium is 2. Yeah, it is now balanced. Okay. Next is the, so other metals like magnesium, aluminum does not react with cold water. So we need to have hot water. So if you see number 2, magnesium Mg reacts with hot water. So here H2O, which is here hot water. So magnesium reacts with hot water to give magnesium hydroxide MgOH whole 2 you will get with the release of hydrogen. So one thing common that we are seeing, that whenever metals react with water, they always gives out hydrogen gas, and you will get the metallic hydroxide, that is, it is all are these bases. Now you have to balance here also. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2. It is now balanced. Okay. Now with the steam. Reaction of metals with steam. Some metals reacts with does not react with hot water also. So for that, what we have to do? We have to pass steam through them. Okay. So suppose for that again magnesium we can take here. Magnesium with H2O in the form of steam is also passed through it. The same here you will get when hot water is used. Magnesium reacts with hot water to form magnesium hydroxide with release of hydrogen gas. But when you pass steam to magnesium, what will you get? You will get magnesium oxide with the release of hydrogen gas. So this is a difference. Okay. So steam and hot water with the reaction of magnesium. So when magnesium reacts with hot water, you will get magnesium hydroxide. But when steam is passed through the magnesium, you will get magnesium oxide. Okay. Similarly, zinc also react with steam to give zinc oxide and hydrogen. So you can write here Zn plus H2O. So again it is steam here. It reacts to give ZnO plus H2. Again hydrogen. So one thing is common here. So when steam is passed, oxide is for metallic oxide is formed with release of hydrogen gas. But when hot water is passed, it gives metallic hydroxide. Okay. So just like magnesium, aluminum also react with steam to give aluminum oxide and hydrogen gas. Now reaction with the metallic hydroxides. Reaction with metallic hydroxide. With metallic hydroxide. So what happens when water reacts with metallic hydroxide? So when water reacts with metallic hydroxide, that is like potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, they give metallic hydroxide, oxide with hydroxide is formed. So what happened here, what we see, so combine with water to form hydroxide, which are mainly base, and what you know called water bases. Bases are a chemical substance which combine with acid to form salt and water. Bases which are soluble in water, that are called alkalis. So potassium hydroxide and sodium hydroxide are strong alkalis, while calcium hydroxide and magnesium hydroxide are weak alkalis. So zinc hydroxide and iron hydroxide do not dissolve in water, hence they are bases but not alkalis. So what we see a reaction of water with metallic hydroxide, what we see here. So potassium hydroxide reacts with water to form potassium hydroxide. Similarly, when calcium oxide reacts with water, it gives calcium hydroxide. Okay. Similarly, when zinc oxide reacts with water, it gives zinc hydroxide. Okay. So what we see here, these two are alkaline base. Alkaline base means water soluble bases are this, but this is the only, it is only base, it is not a alkali, it is only a base, not an alkali. So this is the properties that we have seen here, chemical properties of water. So in the next video lesson we will continue with water as a universal solvent. So I hope you have understood what I have taught in this video lesson. Also we will see more thing in online classes also. If you get any doubt in this part of the video, please ask me in your next online class. Thank you very much for watching this video. See you again in the next video lesson. Thank you very much.